Hi guys, this is Eddie from EddieForLife, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to overcome our fear of failure. One of the things which holds us back the most in life and which impedes our progress. Now, before doing that, if you're a new viewer to my channel, I'd like to welcome you and tell you that I'm here to give you value, to serve you in your best interest so that you can have a better life in all areas. Now, before we continue, let's just go and hit that bell. Okay then, how to overcome our fear of failure. I want to put in a personal note, and this might come as maybe a little surprise to many people who know me, but I have been living in fear most of my life. And actually, I would even say that my middle name is fear. There's another middle name, but we'll get into that in another video. My middle name is fear, and fear is something which I've known all my life. I've known it on a personal level growing up. Fear of standing out, fear of failing, fear in business, fear in almost everything. And I always used to think that overcoming my fear was something which would never happen. I always thought that that's like everybody's like that, and I didn't know how to really go about it. And I used to think that what I have achieved in life was in spite of my fear of failure. And I want to say that again. I used to think that all my achievements in life, whether in business, whether in the martial arts, whether in the spiritual world, whether in many different things, I always used to think that those achievements came in spite of my fear of failure. And it's only in the last couple of years that I can really say that I have achieved all of what I've achieved, not in spite of my fear of failure, but because of my fear of failure. Because my fear has driven me to go further and further and to excel and to push myself beyond my limits, or at least what I thought my limits were. My journey in the martial arts, every time I would get on the mat to spar and to fight, whether it was randori, like we call it, sparring, or kumite, which is fighting. Hey, I was scared shitless. Don't let anybody tell you that all these big, tough guys don't get scared. Now, if anybody who is training with me throughout the years would hear this, they would say, "What the fuck, Eddie? What are you talking about? You scared?" Over the years, with the training, you learn to hide it. You learn to hide your fear. You put on a mask. I learned that from the older and more experienced guys in the dojo, in the gym. When I was younger, I remember one of the older guys took me aside and said, "Eddie, look, everybody's afraid. We just learned not to show it. And we also learned not to show it when we're hit, if it hurts. And that takes time. So you learn to put on a mask. You put on a mask, but not only do you put on a mask for other people, you put on a mask actually for yourself." And now I want to go and explain exactly one of the crucial things in overcoming our fear of failure. Number one, first of all, own up to it. Recognize it. Be aware of it. Once you have a fear and you own up to your fear and you don't run away from it, you recognize it, you acknowledge it, the fear becomes less potent. It has a little bit less of its strength over you. And that's one of the things in which meditation can help. Meditating on that fear. Exactly what do I feel when that fear of failure comes up? So, going back, the first thing is recognizing the fear, or let's put it this way, being aware of the fear. That, I would say, actually is the most important step for overcoming our fear of failure. Then, number 2, another very important step in overcoming the fear of failure is to write down, make a list of what could happen if you really would fail the most. Write it down. Talk to yourself about it. Visualize it. Think about it. Now, let's say you're talking about fear of failing in a business. Okay. Let me think now, what am I risking here? What are my reserves? What's my capital? What do I have to lose here? And what steps can I take to make sure that I'm not wiped out totally in this business, adventure or whatever I want to try to do? So the second step is to make a list, and it could be on a piece of paper, writing it down on a computer or anything, and really go into it. Lay it on thick and really, really think what could happen and be realistic. Be honest with yourself. What could really happen if this thing that you want to go into, if this adventure, whether it's in business or in your career or in anything else, or selling a house, or I don't know what, or doing some kind of physical sport. Think what could happen and then visualize worst case. What would be the worst case? And then build a backup plan for what could help us out so that it wouldn't be the worst case if I really do fail. So those are the most important steps in starting to overcome our fear of failure. And I want you guys to know something else. If you think that you have a fear of failure, and I've coached, by the way, amazingly successful people who are really top-notch in their game, people who are tough guys, high performers in business and in life, and in sports, and in, all kinds of areas. Hey, there's not one person in the world who doesn't have this fear. And it doesn't matter at what level you're playing. The higher level you have, the more you know how to, not show it. But everybody has it. So, when you sit down, like in a coaching session, and I have a client who's a top player, we'll get to that fear of failure, but it might take a while because he or she really knew how to hide it. And that's sometimes why they're not playing a big enough game, why they're not going to the max. And that's what I want to help you out with. How to overcome that fear of failure. So let's recap on that. First thing is knowing it, recognizing it, being aware of it. And by doing that, you manage to lessen its potency, its hold on you over time. Meditate on it, visualize it, see what you're feeling really. There are other steps that I'm going to go into in another video. But the next step, the second step, is actually building a checklist and thinking and really going into what would happen worst case if I fail. And doing that and writing it down and building a backup plan to maybe, instead of falling from, let's say, the 12th floor down to the basement, you build a plan which could stop your fall maybe at the 9th floor, at the 8th floor, or even at the 5th floor. So you come out bruised and you come out damaged, but you can still mend yourself and get up to fight another day. And by fight, I mean in business, in life, in whatever you're doing. I don't mean actually going into a ring and starting, to fight. Because that's not what we're here for. I'm not here to teach you how to fight, but I am here to help you fight in the world with yourself to maximize your potential. And now I just want to say one last thing regarding the fear of failure. Think about it. How much is this fear of failure fueled by what you think that other people are expecting from you, or what other people might think about you? I'm not going into that. That's going to be in another video. And by the way, what is your greatest fear of failure? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know, what tools have you used in your life to overcome the fear of failure? In anything, in business, being an entrepreneur, in sports, in your career, in personal relationships, even walking up to that beautiful girl on the bar, or walking up to that really great looking guy on the bar. What stopped you from doing that? Let me know in the comments, because I'm going to reply to those comments, and those comments are going to help me think about my next video, because I'm going to be talking about what our fear of what other people will think about us and how that holds us back and how to overcome that. So let me know in the comments below. Now, if you found value in this video, if you found value in, what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that I learned everything from my greatest masters, and I had good fortune. So I'm trying to just bring value to you, to serve you to the best of my ability. If you found value in what I'm saying, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and then hit that bell so that you can, know about and be notified about my future videos, because my aim and my mission is to inspire you, to empower you, and to give you tools for leading a better life. So, I'll see you in my next videos, and thank you for watching. Take care of yourself and stay safe.